right, guys, we're back with the truck here. I wanted to show you a couple things. I'm gonna switch over to the other camera here. First, I wanted to show you, remember how we rolled the tape and did our paper the way we did? This is why. It's a very smooth, no lip. As you can see, there's no lip anywhere. It's smooth. Even all this back here where it looks clean, it's smooth.
It's really smooth.
Because of the way we rolled the tape like that. Anywhere we did that. So when I go to sand it, there's not going to be no, hard having to sand go through. Then you're going to go through on the black up here, create more issues with, bare metal. And that's exactly why we do that. Okay, now let me show you. If you notice, we got the bed out from outside. I'm going to show you how I did that. Wasn't no easy task. It took most of the day Saturday, but anyways, I made this stand right here back when I did the Kodiak bed, and pretty cool stand. And if you look here, I just made these Saturday so we can, that just sat down in it and it tightened against it all the way around, which let us roll it around in here, and then I got it on the lift. So now what we'll do is when the truck's done, we'll bring it in here, back it in, bring it down on the frame, and then we'll be able to make a couple, tabs on each side to mount to the side of this bed. However we're going to make it to mount nice, because that's obviously not going to just sit on top. You know what I mean, of the frame. But we'll make it mount nice and everything. So that was that, and I'll go ahead and I'll post some pictures of the Kodiak, how it was on when I built it for that, just to show you guys when I was doing the bed on that. But that bed weighs close to 2,500 pounds, so that's how strong that stand is. I don't know if these are open or not, but it's some, I think, 3/16 thick wall tubing I made it out of, and some real heavy duty casters.
That's heavy.
And they all have locks, but it's a pretty cool little design that I did. Everything's adjustable on it, in and out on the legs there. The middle bar you can slide back and forth, in and out. Everything's adjustable. And then once you mount these parts to the whatever surface, the bed, it makes it all solid. Strengthens it up. All right, so now let me show you this mess we got going on in here. So we're trying to get all this ready to get this truck in here. So far, look at that. I ain't seen that much space in this booth in God knows how long.
God only knows.
So I'm trying to get everything. There's a bunch of stuff that don't belong to me, like that bicycle there. Just a bunch of stuff there. A buddy of mine, he's gonna have to come get it. These wheels in here, a lot of this stuff. There's that bumper we're gonna be doing. I'm gonna be finishing for the Kodiak here. As soon as this truck's done, we'll probably do that one next, but I'm gonna do some pretty cool stuff to it. We're gonna put a light bar in it in the center. We'll make it nice. We'll use the plasma table to make some nice outside, like a surrounding bracket of the hole for around the hole and stuff to make it look pretty neat. And we'll use some nice rivets or something around it. I don't know. We'll get creative.
Creativity!
But that's gonna go on that. Once I get this cleaned out here, we're gonna go ahead and fire this thing up, get it outside. First I'm gonna power wash and brush all this stuff in here and get it cleaned up. I'm gonna blow out the inside real well, and then we'll get ahead and get it in the booth. And that way it's ready for us to do the undercoating on that, frame stuff, and get this stuff blocked down and get it ready for paint. I was going around it and looking. There's a couple little areas, I think here, like here, and just a couple little teeny pinholes. And I'm hoping the primer gets it. And you'll see why we sprayed that black guide coat, because when we go blocking that, it's going to show us the highs and lows of where we need to stop when we're blocking to keep it all nice and flat when we're doing it. So if it goes beyond that, and I don't get that little thing out, I can't see it now because of the guide coat, but if it goes beyond that, we'll skim it with some glaze. And that goes with anything else on this. If there's any areas where there's a little pinhole or a scratch that the primer doesn't, which it should because it's the thick stuff, but if it doesn't, we'll skim it with glaze, sand that out, and it'll be ready to paint right over. You can paint right over the glaze that I use. And then we'll go ahead and get these, the seams ready and masked off real quick and put the seam seal on it on both sides, and go ahead and get it all masked back down and shoot it. So, yep, we're getting ready to start having some fun, guys. So hang in there. Please stay tuned on the channel here. I appreciate everything, really do. And we'll go ahead and get this stuff on the ball. But I'll keep you guys posted. Here, I'm gonna switch back to this one. I'll keep you guys posted on the getting this booth ready and stuff. I'm running out of areas in here. I really am on where to put stuff. I mean, it's two shops. This is a 40 by 60, or I'm sorry, yeah, 40 by 64 here and a 30 by 40 over there, and they're both full. So when they tell you to build your building big because you're gonna run out quick, they're not lying to you. It happens quick, especially when you try to do stuff like this where we're, you know, all this equipment on trying to do everything in-house, you know, it just fills up so fast, you know. And this is, I got rid of a bunch of stuff that I used to have that I didn't use a lot, so.
It's story time.
I got rid of my bead roller back when it was a year or two ago. I wasn't using it, needed some extra cash, so I sold it. It sucked because I got rid of it for much less than what I had in it, but there's a plus to it. With every bad comes a good, I believe, and so we're gonna build a sweeter one and a bigger one for much less the money. So if there's anybody out there that wants to build a nice bead roller, I'm gonna show you how to do it. And I'm gonna do a lot of my cutting on the plasma table, but you could do it all with a cutoff wheel and a grinder and make it just as nice if you take your time. I'm just gonna be lazy and use what I have because it's accessible for me. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and keep busting away at this thing here, and then I'll bring you guys back, give you another update when I'm to the next step. Cool, thanks again, guys. All right, guys, we're getting ready to pull this thing up here. I got the power washer hooked up at the house because every time I use it out here, it makes the well go dry for some reason. So we're gonna pull it up here, power wash all this stuff the best we can get it, so we can get it ready, and then we'll get it back in the shop here. I blew out the jams a little bit with some of the dirt, so when we remask them for the painting, they won't have, you know, much stuff in them, because once we close it in, it ain't gonna come out anyways, but I just didn't want a whole bunch of stuff laying in the bottom of the jam there. But all right, I'm gonna reset this up and then we'll get it pulled up there. Be right back. Yeehaw. Ugh. Hope I don't tear out my garage. I don't think so. First time this thing's drove in a minute. Pretty cool sitting truck though, it sits up nice. Sorry about that, guys. When we was pulling in there, I had my mic off, but I was saying, let me go back around this. So everything pretty much flew off of here that we needed it to. I mean, it's pretty solid. I put the 0 degree tip on, which is like a pointy spray, and it just literally was shaving this stuff off. I mean, it's off. I'm gonna go around it just with a little putty knife scraper, and a couple more I'm gonna clean off here, just here and there, that don't really, you know, blow it off with the blowgun, hit it with a brush, and then it's ready. But our majority is gone. So that's what we wanted. You know what I mean? We didn't want to spray right over that stuff that was so loose. And by the way, yeah, the well did run out. So I gotta go in the house and figure out what's going on with it. Right at the end when I put that powerful tip on, which requires more water to come through the power washer, you know, dried it up. So in the spring, I hope it lasts that long. I'm gonna have to probably get that thing dug down deeper. I don't know what else to do. That stuff is not cheap, so I hope I could find somebody to, you know, just add a little 50 or 100 more foot of, you know, of drilling for something that ain't gonna tear us up on the budget, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, stay tuned guys. I'm gonna go up and mess with that and check that out for a minute, and then I'll be back out and we'll get started on blocking this primer. Like I said, I wanna get all this stuff primed and done, and we'll back it outside, blow it all off nice, and we'll get it in the booth. Like I said, I think I'm gonna paint the jambs first, then we'll mask that cab up, and then we'll bring it out to the bed over here, and we'll go ahead and pre-fit it, get whatever tabs we need to get made for the frame, weld them on, so that way after we undercoat that stuff, all we gotta do is back underneath it, drop it down, bolt it up, and hook our lights up, and it's done. So that's how we're gonna do it. That's the plan. So let me get going on here on this well, and I'll get back out here soon, guys. Thanks again. All right, guys, we're back in here. I got some 180 on both of these, the hard Durablock and that soft one I showed you. I had another one that I really like to use, and I can't find it. It's kind of got a dome on top. It's a little bit firmer. It's softer than this one, but it's firmer on the part where you sand with. But this will work just fine. I just like the feel of that other one. So basically, what we're going to do here is try to get in here where you guys can see everything. We want to get all of our flat areas with, and you just kind of take your blocks and feel which one's going to work better for you. The harder one's going to be more of like to get your, if you've got any areas that are feeling. I'm going to show you what this guide coat does now. So when we start sanding, you can, let me get a little bit of it down. That way I can show you guys what's going on here. And this is what the real firm one. So this is going to make it super flat quick. But if you look here, let me try to bring in some here. You can see the, oops, you can see the dark spots left here, and some there and some here. Those are your low spots. The parts we already went through are the high spots. So if we keep on going here, now this is where you see if you put enough material on, because, and I don't know if I said it or not, but that's 180. So you want to have enough material on there where you can get rid of all these dark spots, make your panel flat, and not run out of primer. If I'm making any sense. Up here is working out real good so far. It all is, really, but this just, see, we went through right there, but that's black. This is to the, so we can stop there. We're good. And if you feel that, it's real nice and flat. So now you just stay away from that area. And you can see all your roughness of the primer with the guide coat. It shows you all of it. So you ain't gonna have no surprises in the paint when you're painting. You're getting rid of all of it. So for this area up here, let me get that real quick. We got, see here, this is not quite done yet, and there's some black from the existing. For these two areas to be popping through already, not already, but I've just took off a lot down here. Those areas was definitely higher than the rest of the panel. But if you feel this, if you was to feel it, you'd feel that it's real nice, flat, and smooth now by doing that. And here's what I was talking about on the when we taped it the way we did. So when I sand this now, it'll feather out quick. We don't have no rough edges there that we got to really work on. You can see it's already looking, you know, feathered in. So we're about good there. I can get all this by hand over here so I don't go through any edges. This is right into the existing. Feels really good, all this does. Yeah, guide coat is really the way to go. Some people don't do it. Once I was taught to do that, I've never looked back because it's kind of a foolproof. Now they sell these little, the guide coat comes in like a powder form, and you can put it in, you can dab it on with a little like a little, I don't know what it is, like a, yeah, this feels great. Yeah, you could put it on with like a little poofy thing. I don't know what you call it, but, and it just, you just kind of like powder it on after you do your primer, and there's your guide coat. But I've always used and they sell guide coat in a spray can too. But it's all it is get you some satin black or flat black spray can, and just do it like I showed you in the video there from a distance, and you just want to mist it on. All you're looking for is specks of it everywhere. You don't want to paint the panel black, because then it shows you real good what's going on here. Like as soon as I hit this, you can see right away. Let me try to get a close up with this one here. Hopefully we can get this in there good. So when you, as soon as you sand it, I can see there's a scratch here, some little rough build of the primer here. Nothing really high and real bad low of the panel yet that we see. It's already, see that? We're already gone with the guide coat, and we're into the primer, so this is a good part of the panel. All this is. So we done our body work good is what this is telling you. You don't have a mess going on, of a whole bunch of work you got to do. I don't know if that's a shade from the camera. Yeah, it is. I'll put this back here because I was getting a shade here and I don't want to go through. But you get the point.
But you get my point.
Of what's going on with the guide coat. Now, I'll get all those as little as I can, as good as I can with this, just because I want this to be flat. And then I'm going to switch to by hand on my curves and on my edges because I don't want to go through them. So, and I got a round one there I'm probably going to switch to, like a round, I should have grabbed it before we started, but it's a round of the Durablock system. It's just a round little rod looking thing. You wrap your paper around it and you can go in there real good with it. And then on these, I'll usually start with, and you see how I'm going up like at an angle this way? I'll do that, and then I'll go this way, like crisscross it. It ends up giving me a pretty good area. I'm kind of going to give you guys all the areas on how I'm going to do it, and then I'm going to finish it real quick. Well, not real quick, but I'll get it done off camera here, because there's really going to be just watching me do this for a minute. If you can see there, we've definitely got our material down too, because all that's working out great. So is this, all this. Not a lot of work up there, and this is really nice and smooth. I don't feel no highs and lows. That's going to look good when we paint it. Let's see what we got going on down here real quick. See if we did our work good here. Yeah, like I said, this is kind of foolproof, guys, because all the steps that I told you. Do your body work right, lay the primer on there nice and heavy, and when we're to this stage here, you should be in the same thing I'm in.
The same boat.
I'm not a super body man, I'll tell you that now. But I followed all that stuff I told you guys in the video to a T of how it was taught, and you yourself can do it, I'm telling you.
You can do it.
There's nothing to it if you do it like I showed you and feel for what I was telling you to feel for and work with all that formula. And I'm telling you, look at that. I barely had to work that hard on this primer to get this panel ready for. Now what we'll do after this is I'll go back over it with, I got these little pads, they're 3M makes, and they're just a finer grit. You can use sandpaper, like 320, probably 320 is perfect, or a 400, or go work your way up, go to, a 240 to a 320. I don't like going too much because I don't want to keep taking the primer off, so I'll go straight to like a 320 just to get my 180 marks a little down, and then I'll go back over it with a Scotch-Brite pad real quick because it ain't going to take nothing off. It's just going to smooth it out real nice, and we're ready for paint. That's it. Because your paint is also going to do some filling too, actually, depending on how you put it on. If you put it on with a little bit of an orange peel, you're definitely going to, it's definitely going to work as a, as kind of like not a filler, but it's going to give you a little textured look. But you get it nice like this. I don't care how you put it on, slick and wet. You can put it on as wet or as slick as you want it, and then I promise you it'll look good. And like I said, don't forget this is gonna be black. Black is your worst one. If you can get black to look good, you're gonna get any of your bodywork to look good, especially like white and stuff like that. Hey, you see I'm just working that corner. It's hard to be at this angle with the camera, but I'm trying to show you guys. That's all I'm doing is just working around it. Getting through my guide coat where it's telling me where I need to work. And that is it. You stop. As soon as they're gone, you know you're good. This, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
What the heck is going on?
If you felt this, it feels like a factory smooth panel. There's nothing bad here at all. It feels really nice. And this is gonna be the part you really want to look its best, here, because that's gonna be outside all the time. In here, as long as you make it look good and there's no scuff marks and all that crap, it's gonna look nice anyways, because you got a million curves and whatever you want to call it, gestures and indents, and you know, it's a million things going on here. So how do you know where's what bad and good or any of that? You know, you don't.
Where does it begin and where does it end?
It's a door jamb. You know, this is flat here. We're definitely gonna have it looking nice. And then when we're done with all this crap, we'll put our seam seal on these areas. You guys watch and see as this progresses, how nice it goes, you know, just by following the steps I'm showing you. You guys can pick up on some projects of your own, things you probably thought you could never do because other people make it look harder or they don't want to show you, or I don't know. But that's what I'm about here. I'm trying to show you guys the full ways that way you can do this yourself. Save some money. Why pay somebody? You know what I mean? You don't need a ton of fancy equipment to do this. I mean, look at all I ain't really used nothing fancy at all in here. A welder, some grinders, some cutoff wheels. You guys seen it. Stuff you can obtain yourself for cheap from Harbor Freight. That's it. This part I'm gonna do by hand here. I don't wanna go through my corner. I'm gonna come back over this by hand, just kinda work that corner right there, this little lump. But man, I mean, we are so good, guys. We really are. All this feels super nice, really nice. This dent that we had here, it's gone. Feels really nice. And stuff like that. You guys got dents in your normal everyday drivers? Fix it yourself, man. Really, fix it yourself. Even the paint part, I'm gonna show you how to do that. There's no biggie. You could buy paint guns from Harbor Freight for so cheap and they work great. I'm not a sponsor to his channel or any kind of promoting from his channel or anything, but go to Bad Chad's channel, Bad Chad. You'll see he uses cheap guns, nothing special at all. And he does excellent stuff with it. You know, there's no need in all that. I got high dollar Iwata. I love my Iwatas. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's what I use to paint with, but I can't tell you how many times I've painted with a $20 or $30 gun, and I sit back and look at it and go, man, I just done just as nice a job with that as I ever have with any of my nice stuff, you know? All right, so you guys have seen it there. And then on these, like I said, I'm gonna go through here by hand. I'm gonna do all this by hand, even in here. I'm gonna just sand this out real good. When I get to these areas, I'm gonna get back to my flat blocks just to keep all this flat part flat. That's all I'm gonna do here. Make sure all that's nice and smooth. I'll get all this by hand here, hand, you know, just, you get the point. There's no need to try to go in here, and we're not building a show car. Plus, you don't need to do that in a door jamb. You watch and see what these look like when we're done. I keep saying it. Cool, I'm gonna get this done. I'm gonna do both sides, and I'll bring you back when we're getting ready to tape this stuff off to put the seam sealer on it and start getting this taped off for painting. I'm gonna get this thing painted and done. So, cool. Appreciate you guys again. Be back here as soon as I'm done. All right, guys, so I'm gonna take you around to this side. We got this side ready. So everything, and I'm gonna show you the next step I took on after we did the blocking with the 180 and the hand sanding. But this is all ready. Now we're gonna do is prep all the our areas for the seam seal. This one was 1-2, but I went ahead and just mudded over it because I wanted to get that real nice and flat. So what we'll do is, I'll tell you now, but you'll see it anyways, but we'll tape that off and make a line that goes down, that follows the seam of the panel on both sides, the factory seam. I got a picture of it. So, but this is all ready, and now I'm gonna take you around on this side here and I'm gonna show you. It turned out really nice too. Everything real nice and smooth and ready for the next step here. So let me tell you what those are. Okay, so the next step is this. What we have here are these 3M pads I was talking about. Try to see what camera I can get in. There's a medium and a fine. That's all I ever use. Not sure, I think there is a coarse one, but the medium is plenty coarse. So what you'll do with the medium is you can take it over areas that are that need, you know, still feathered in some more, you know, if you have any. You know, you just feel for what you got, but these are all pretty good. I'm just showing you where you would use medium. I went ahead and took out the strikers, our lock strikers there, so I can get behind these areas here that we couldn't get to beforehand. This is just so nothing comes off on us. I wanted to get it nice and feathered in and smoothened out. Now see, this took some of the medium here because there was areas there where we wasn't able to get when that was in the way. So that's good. So then after you do that with the medium, you'll go back over with the fine and just go over the whole panel everywhere you went. And if you look, you can still see a little bit of primer coming off, but that's taking our 180 scratches out down to I can't remember what these are supposed to be, but it's a really nice smoothness. So when you paint, and the good thing about these is they're padded. So when you get around these curves, it just curves and goes really nice with it. So you'll have no hard lines in all your curvy areas from if you did it with your sandpaper. You get these jams real nice. So, and I'm telling you, it's just slick, smooth, and if you was in person, you can look and see that where I just did it compared to over here where I 180'd, it just took them out real nice. Well, enough to where paint's gonna set right well with it. You know, it's gonna look good when you paint it and not show those scratches in your primer. This takes it down to a nice smoothness, but these are so nice for that, and I'll put a description in the video when I edit it. They're made by 3M. I think there's some out there generic ones you can get, but I just get the 3M ones. They're a couple more dollars and you know they're gonna be good. These I had since the Kodiak, since a couple vehicles before that. I just keep blowing them off with the air gun, and until they start to come apart, which some of these mediums are doing a little bit like on the edges, you keep using them. I mean, if they're working, they're working, you know what I mean? So, and I've had these for a while. They last for a minute. And then what we'll do is, we'll blow everything off. The next step will be, we'll probably go over it with the fine one on the rest of the black, around the rest of the jam, and all the areas that are gonna get painted and blended. And then we'll maybe take a Scotch-Brite pad just quickly over everything just to make sure we ain't missed nothing. That's kind of like a final thing. But these also work like a Scotch-Brite pad too, so I may not even do that. This is perfectly fine to stop your process at the fine, and you're ready for paint after that. So I'm gonna finish this side, the other side's ready, as you've seen, and then we'll get this bad boy blowed off, start prepping the areas for the seam seal. I'll bring you back when I'm doing that so you can see how we do that, and then mask this thing off and get some paint on it. So give me a little bit. This is probably gonna take me a couple hours or so, and then I'll bring you guys back when we're to the next stage. Thanks again, guys. All right, so I'm gonna show you guys something real quick before I go taping this off for the seam seal. Both sides are sanded and ready. So a lot of you probably have used wax and grease remover for years, and some of you that have been around for a while that are a little aged at this, like me, will tell you that this is perfectly fine. Some Windex, that's all I've ever used. Cheap couple bucks and it works just as good, if not, I don't know, maybe better, but I've never had a problem using it as a wax and grease remover before I paint, before I do anything on this stuff, and it's worked great for years for me. So just letting you guys know that. You can try it, you can't, if you don't want, you don't have to, but that's what I've used for years, and you ain't got to spend a lot of money on wax and grease remover to do this. I'm telling you, it works just fine. There's a lot of people that do it. Just like I said before on that the Bad Chad channel, same thing, he uses it. He's never had actually I was shocked to see that he used it on one of his episodes, because I've used it for years. I thought that's something somebody told me to do or whatever, but anyways, a little tip for you guys. I'm gonna get this ready real quick. I'm gonna do a section, then I'll bring you back, because if I sit here and have you guys on, while I'm taping this all off, it's gonna take forever. So I'll tape it all off real quick, and then I'll show you how I done it, and then we'll do some seam sealing together, because the taping part's pretty plain and simple, self-explanatory, so once you see it. So give me a few. I'm gonna tape off some areas here, and I'll be back shortly. All right, guys. So I've already done this. Let me show you real quick. That one's done. Turned out pretty nice. And now I'm getting ready to show you how we do it. All right, so there's a couple ways we can do this. If you don't mind getting your fingers dirty, You can do it with your finger. Let me try to get this where it's not in my way. All right, so what you want to do is get your seam seal on your areas. Then what we'll do is, now you can use the brush, but with some lacquer thinner, because the lacquer thinner is going to spread it out without taking it off, if that makes any sense. And so will your finger. So if you use your finger, you can smooth it out. And I kind of like my finger a little better because it gives you a little smoother, you know, gives you a little more smoothness to it. But some of your factory seam seals will have like a brush look to them. So it just all depends on what you're trying to match. Like if you're inside of a trunk of an old car, you know what I mean, or a new one, whatever, and some of them's going to have a different look to it. You want to match it, so you have to probably just wait and see. Whoops, that's all right. I got a little dirt on my hand, but it doesn't matter because we paint right over this stuff. Yeah, see, the thinner keeps it from sticking on you. It just makes you can glide right across it. And you'll know when the thinner's done because it'll start to grab. I don't even know where I got that dirt from. I must have grabbed something. And this stuff, depends on which one you get, but this one here says it's dry and paintable, I think in 30 minutes. But we're not gonna paint today because obviously I still gotta mask the jams off and get some more stuff ready here. But usually you do this right at your last part, right before you're ready to paint. But I'm there, I just gotta mask the stuff up. But I wanted to get this stuff on camera, or you know, recorded, just so it's out of the way. That's all. Yeah, so you can flatten it down with that thinner and it won't stick to your hand, but it will stick to the surface. Pretty cool. Once again, another thing that was showed to me years ago. All right, so once you get it where you want it, it's pretty much ready to roll. So what we'll do is now just start taking the tape off. I want to show you guys this part here, and then I'm going to finish up the rest of them. I think that's, nope, that's on top. Oh, that's the second one. And it's okay if you get some, you know, here or there, because we're going to still clean this off a little bit. Once more, we'll go around and check it, make sure everything's good before we put the paint on it. Now you want to pull up and into it to try to keep your line clean, your line crisp. You can wait a little bit. I like pulling mine off while it's still a little bit not fully set, because you can exactly do what I just said. You can play with the angle of the, see it? I can pull upwards and keep my line clean. And when you're done, it will look like a factory seam. And by no means were your factory seam seals perfect like this. I'm actually making them look a little bit better than they were with the factory. They don't look like this on factory. You guys open your doors in your car and look at them, you'll see what I mean. They're just slopped on and nothing really. Nobody was trying to make art with it or whatever. See, and I don't think when the factory does it, they did it like this. This is just some stuff somebody came up along the way of the body world business throughout the years and said, hey, let's just tape it off and we can make some clean lines. But I don't think the factory done it like this. I think they had a machine or something that did it cleaner and just laid it on there real nice, you know what I mean? I'm not sure how they did it. I never really looked into that. That's it. Now when that sets up, that's our seam seal there. And you can paint right over that, and once the paint's on it, it'll all look good, you know what I mean? But like I said, when you open up your car door later on today or something, look in there and you'll see it's just a flat piece of something that looks like it was stuck over the seams. That's all it is. And this stuff here, we're just making a little tape, you know, just what we just did. Tape lines, smear it out with the thinner, make it smooth and as clean as we can, and that's it. So, all right, I'm gonna finish this one and the back one, and I'm gonna jump to the other side and get it done. And then I'm gonna go ahead and finish getting a couple other things out of the booth. And we'll get this thing spun around and in there, and well, I'll probably open the door and blow it off one more time. Try to get the most off of it there. And then we'll get it in the booth and start masking things off. Because what we'll do is we'll probably mask it, and then I'll do a final scuff on the black areas with either them little pads or a Scotch-Brite, and some of these other areas, just kind of go over and make sure everything's clean. And then we'll do one last wipe down with the Windex around all of it, because we want to remove any kind of grease or Armor All or anything that was in the jams over the years, because that will cause fish eyes. So we'll clean all that real nice and get that all prepared. So, but I'll bring you guys back when we're doing that part, so you won't miss none of that. So, but I just wanted to show you this. This is the process on this, and we'll go on to the next part. Be back in a little bit. All right, guys. As you can see here, we got the truck in the paint booth. It was a task. I had to use these rollers and all kind of stuff, but we got all the seam seal done. So we got all that stuff done. It's looking pretty good. Anyways, I better hurry because this battery might die. But anyways, we got it in the paint booth. Let me show you the things we had to use here. So there's between the rollers and the jack and spinning it all around. I mean, I had the time of my life, let me tell you, trying to get that thing in there. Yeah, it was something else. Just trying to do all that, kick the back around, because there's not much room here to work with, so that's the whole problem. But both sides, we got all them done, even across the back here. We got that one done. It looks good, blends right in, both sides. Whoops. So next we're gonna do here is clean all this back off and get this thing to where it's cleaned up good. We'll mask off the jams, and then next we're gonna get the paint going. So yeah, that's what we'll do next. We'll get this thing all cleaned off once more, blow it off. I blew all the whole booth out just to get a bunch of some of the loose dirt that was in there all on the ground, on the walls, around the lights. I blew it on. I had the fan running. But yeah, we'll get it all wiped down. I'll get it masked. You guys have seen me mask it already, so there's no sense in doing that twice. But I'll get it masked off, and I'll get it to the point where we're getting ready to paint it. When I'll get you guys back in the paint mixing room, and I'll show you how the paint gets mixed and what gum we're going to use and all that stuff, and we'll get that stuff on there. So I'm going to try to get it at least taped off today. It's kind of late in the day now. I think it's like 5 o'clock or something like that, but I'm going to try to work a couple more hours at least and get it somewhat taped off, and then when I'm to that point, I'll get back to you guys as soon as I can. Thanks again. All right, guys, what we're going to do here is go through and get all the studs off, clean the frame up as we talked about before, and get it ready for the undercoating. I decided to do it first just because I don't want to risk getting anything, on the nice paint here, and I don't want to put a lot of masking into this stuff and waste material. So this here ain't gonna matter, like overspray from when we're doing this here. It won't bother it at all. So that's why I said we'll do this first. We'll get all this done. I'm gonna go through, take some of these lines off here, get them out of the way, put a little paper and stuff over the tank, just as much as I can. Keep some of it off, because if you ever got to get back in here to change this sanding unit or something like that, it'll have a ton of undercoating on it, and nobody wants to work around that stuff. So I'm going to get that ready, cut the studs off, do that stuff like I said. I'll bring you guys back here shortly. I just kind of want to give you a heads up on what I'm doing first, and then we'll go from there. Cool. Give me a few. I'm going to get this stuff buttoned up here. It shouldn't take long to zip these things off, and then I'll be back with you guys shortly. All right, guys, I'm going to bring you in here. I'm going to go to this camera here so I can show you guys this. I ain't never used this yet. I'll try to find a link on how much it was. It's a nice setup, but that's the undercoat gun. Get it in frame there. Pretty cool. And then it comes with, you put this on the end of it, and then you could take this tip right here and stick it in like your rocker panels and get behind stuff, and that's what we're going to do underneath where I said, in between our inner and outer rocker, so I can get undercoat inside there. And that's what that's for. Like I said, you just put this little nipple right here to it just like an air hose fitting. Well, I'm gotta pull it back like that, and it just clips on there. And then you got your hose on there. Other than that, you can just take it, and this is how we're gonna do it now for the frame. There's a fitting in here for and I'm not sure what this little that's if you want to go if you want to go permanent mount. There's a little tip in here. You unscrew this and put this on it, but we're going to leave it to the quick connect. So basically that's how we'll do it, like that. The undercoat, I haven't used this type yet, but it's supposed to be pretty good, and it's rubberized, and it's industrial. So it's what they use like at Z-Bar, places like that. I'm not sure if this is the name brand that they use, but it's the same type. It's made the same way. You know, the ingredients is the same, but it's industrial grade stuff. It ain't cheap. I'll try to find the price of these too. I think I got both of these for like $100, and I forget what this was, but I'll look it up for you guys and maybe edit it in. So I wanted to show you that real quick. I'm gonna get this mixed up, or I think you just pour it in there. I gotta get me an air chuck on the end of it, and then I'll get you guys over to the. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I guess I'm just gonna keep the camera out in the open when I do it over there. Go back to this one. Yeah, I don't know how we're gonna do it. Maybe we'll just leave this one at the opening of the booth, and I'll cut the fan on, because it doesn't overspray. It's thick, so I ain't concerned about shutting the door. And as long as I keep the fan on, it'll probably go towards the fan anyways. So that's what we'll do. I'll get it all set up, bring you guys back here shortly. Okay, this stuff is thick as molasses, let me tell you.
Thick.
Let's go ahead and try a little. Sorry about where the camera's at. Hopefully you guys can at least get a idea. I'm just trying to see how this thing works. I've never used it. Okay, so turn the air up. I think there's some adjustments here. I don't know what this one's for though. Let me see. Oh, that's wet. Oh, okay, there we go. Okay, let's go with it. I don't know what, let's try to take this. Oh, that's just I believe that's my trigger. Yeah, that's my trigger. Pretty much like a regular gun, to be honest with you. Let's get up back here first by the bed so I can. It's really pretty nice actually. I thought it would be like more all over the place. There we go. Getting the hang of it's one thing. Let me get back here a little bit where maybe you guys can see it a little better. And then I'm gonna go to town on it, but basically I wanna let you see how it goes on, if you can, hopefully. Almost kind of like a splatter. Actually, the way you see it, when you see it on your car, it puts it on just like that. It is a professional grade gun.
Only the best.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Yeah, I didn't reduce anything or, put any thinners in it, anything like that. This is almost like a pressure pot. I just realized that when I just turned this thing down. Yeah. Still trying to get the hang of it. Yeah, that's coming out even better now, for sure. One thing about it is you got to go around everything because the angles. The long parts are great, so you can just go through them quickly. But all these little, get off there. Give it a little more. Oh, okay, so that one seems like my. It is pretty awesome. Okay, what I'm gonna do, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing blasted. Obviously, it's gonna take me a little few. I'll bring you back. We'll go around the whole thing with I'll do the hand camera and kind of show you all the cracks and crevices. I better not touch myself. And so you guys can see it when it's done. But at least you can see what I'm doing with what I'm doing. I don't know if that's right or wrong. I think you just pour it in there and go with it from what I've read in the past. It's coming out just like it should, like a rubberized deal there. I mean, this thing's gonna look like really nice when it's done. I mean, it gives you a nice texture. I'm sure it's gonna dry uniform. Yeah, it's looking good. So let me do that. Yeah, see, and I'm getting a little bit of speckles on the ground there. I'm trying to keep that from happening with that board, but you can't see every whole thing, so I'll do my best. But so I'll get it all ready, and then I'll bring you guys back when I'm that far. We'll go over it and I'll show you the results. Thanks for hanging in there. All right, guys, got this stuff done. It's a messy process, let me tell you. Cleaning the gun's even worse. I tried thinnering it, and it's not really getting it off good, so I got to look up and see what's going to clean that good, but it's all over me. It's a really messy job. Now, if some of you guys want to do this and don't have, you know, the gun and want to spend the money on that stuff, this stuff by Rust-Oleum, this truck bed pro grade turbo spray system. Let me try to get in here. This stuff right here is almost identical into the color and the texture of it. So I will go around with this and do some touch-ups in areas that I missed, just little crevices and stuff like that. I tested it to see it's identical match. So works good. I've used this stuff on a lot of different things, and this stuff holds up really nice. Let me take you around here. So here's the end product here. Take you guys around, show you a little bit. Turned out really nice. Like I said before, I'm going to go ahead and take that can. There's places like back there on them springs down there. You guys can see down there. That's going to need it. That all got good back there. Just a couple little areas that you can't really, you know, it's hard to get the gun down in there. So, but other than that, you know, everything else turned out real nice. I did get the tank down here a little bit, just so it doesn't look like crap when the bed's on it. You know what I mean? Yeah, all that turned out really good. A couple things here, guys. This is really upsetting, but both sides of the cab corner here, a dent here and a dent over there. I just overlooked it, you know what I mean? My main concern and focus was just always on these cab corners, you know what I mean? So it is what it is now. It's like I was saying, the bed does go up at an angle, so it's probably going to be an eyesore. I mean, I'm going to have to probably do something about it. I'm going to talk to him about it. I know he wants his truck back, and I know I want it out of here. You know, I've got so many things I got to get going on here, and this thing is just really holding me up. Those are the type of things like that I do not like going out. You know, I don't like letting that go. So we'll see what he says. I mean, we'll see how it all works out. I'm sure I'm probably gonna have to fix it, but it's just upsetting. You know what I mean? I just cannot believe I did that. I really can't. Look at that. It's got to be where the bed hit into it. So it's, yeah. But anyhow, like I said before, I showed you the can there. I am gonna do a little touch-ups here and there on this. But the main frame that we can't get to once the bed's on it, it's done. The stuff underneath there, I'm going to hit some more. And see, behind those, same thing on that side of the springs down there. Same thing's going on there. Other than that, look, I mean, it turned out super nice everywhere. I mean, if you look, it got it good everywhere. It really did. But I just wanted to show you guys, once I was done with it, what the turnout was. It did turn out nice. Very, 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 very hard to clean. I mean, this stuff is horrible. It really is. I mean, I've never sprayed that stuff. I bought this system it was a while back ago for something else, and then again for this. I've always had the gun. Let me switch back to this camera real quick. All right, guys, so I think what I'm gonna do is wrap this up on this video because the bad deal's there with the CabCorners. It's like I said, I gotta fix it. I can't let it go like that. I'm hoping he understands. I know he wants this thing back so bad. I want it out of here bad. I hate even looking at him. But like I said, I'm gonna button this video up here. I'm gonna get those done pretty quick and get the other one started, the new video going. When I come back to you guys, we're gonna be finishing up on the masking and spraying the jams. So this thing will be, that video shouldn't be that long of a video. I mean, painting the jams, we'll get it underneath the bed, make 4 tabs to mount it down, hook the lights up, out of here. So I really appreciate you guys. Please don't forget, what really helps me out the most on these videos is to like, share, and subscribe. The likes really matter, so a lot of people don't hit it. I know I catch myself watching people's videos that I really like, and I don't hit the like. I got to get in the habit to help, you know, it helps people. So if I'm wanting it, obviously I got to give it this, you know, I got to do the same for everybody else. So that's what keeps the videos going and for other people to see them. When YouTube sees people are hitting the like button, it keeps it up there for more people to see it. So please, if you would start hitting that like button, more so than the subscribers even though I do want the subscribers, but the like button is what's going to get the videos out there. So if you don't want to type nothing in the comments, don't do it. But if you do, it's good to hear from you guys. If If you have something to say or ask or anything, please jot it down, below down there. So once again, I really appreciate you guys. Hit the likes, please. Until the next one, thanks.